Hello everyone, this is Michael's Fortune Bread, your US stock explorer. Today I want to talk about a major AI-related news that was released last Monday. The Chinese AI laboratory DeepSeek released the full version of its latest open source inference model, R1. On Monday, the entire semiconductor sector plunged, especially Nvidia, which fell by 17% in a day. Last year, the semiconductor ETF SMH fell by 10%. So today we will discuss whether DeepSeek poses a threat to Nvidia and the semiconductor sector, and we'll also talk about how this event will affect the short, medium, and long-term sales of AI chips. Moreover, we'll explore whether it's still a good idea to buy Nvidia or other chip stocks if they continue to fall. To answer these questions, let's start by discussing the R1 model that has shaken the tech world. DeepSeek stated that R1 was trained for 55 days on 2048 Nvidia H800 GPUs, and it can surpass or match the performance of OpenAI's O1 in multiple mathematical, programming, and reasoning benchmarks. However, the model's unique aspect is not its performance, but its cost. As everyone knows, China has been restricted from purchasing the most advanced American AI chips. So Chinese AI companies have always lacked computing power. DeepSeek claims that they only spent $5.6 million to build a model comparable to OpenAI's O1 in performance. And it is said that the operating cost of this model is only 1/25th of that of O1. This means that R1 charges 55 cents per million uncatched input tokens, while OpenAI's O1 charges as much as $15 for the same access. Clearly, DeepSeek's R1 costs only 4% of O1, and their pricing is significantly more competitive than OpenAI's. In terms of price, R1 has achieved a disruptive blow to its competitors. Of course, there are currently many voices online questioning DeepSeek. For example, some doubt that the R1 model's capabilities are not as strong as claimed, and that it hasn't been tested over time. Microsoft and OpenAI are jointly investigating DeepSeek, suspecting they used improper means to steal data. OpenAI also stated that they found evidence showing DeepSeek used OpenAI's proprietary models to train its own open-source chatbot. Yesterday, Reuters reported that DeepSeek's chatbot had only 17% accuracy, lagging behind the level of mainstream Western AI software according to NewsGuard's review. Additionally, Apple's and Google's stores in Italy have removed DeepSeek's software. Moreover, some experts question the actual training costs of the R1 model compared to the company's claims. For instance, according to Scale AI's founder and CEO Alexander Wang, he believes DeepSeek actually possesses about 50,000 Nvidia H100 chips, and due to US chip restrictions, DeepSeek would not admit it. Elon Musk also agreed with Wang. If Wang is right, then with the official price of H100 at $30,000 each, the value of DeepSeek's GPUs would be as high as approximately $1.5 billion. If that's true, then the cost of DeepSeek's R1 model isn't as impressive as rumored. However, their low pricing is evident. Therefore, no matter how many birds and analysts question it, DeepSeek's low cost seems to be real. Wang also stated that their team tested R1 and found it comparable to OpenAI's O1. Even if R1's actual performance is somewhat worse than O1, it doesn't prevent it from disrupting the industry, as R1's pricing is much cheaper. While the model still needs time and validation through use by various enterprises, DeepSeek's algorithmic optimizations have indeed shown the world that it isn't always necessary to simply stock up on hardware and computing power. Investing more in software is also an option. This might even lead to higher capital efficiency, just like DeepSeek. Therefore, the reason given for the semiconductor sector's plunge on Monday is that DeepSeek's success might indicate that future market demand for AI chips will slow down, with companies more inclined to invest in algorithm optimization. However, speaking from the stock market perspective, the news about R1 was already out last Monday, but it only started to ferment over the weekend. As various experts, elites, and CEOs began to comment, the hype around R1 quickly intensified, and it wasn't until a week later on Monday that the stock prices started to react. Clearly, there are suspicions that Wall Street manipulated this drop. The chip sector had been overextended for a long time and needed a correction. However, due to excellent performance and bright prospects, the upward cycle was extended. And even when a correction was necessary, there weren't many excuses to use. Therefore, in recent years, you would see the semiconductor sector appearing stagnant, neither rising nor falling, just oscillating. It wasn't until the DeepSeek event that the fear among chip investors surged, providing capital with a good reason to sell off. The market's concern might not be about the short-term sales of AI chips, but rather the long-term ultimate sales potential. But before we get into that, let's start by discussing the short to medium-term impacts. Firstly, if DeepSeek's R1 is proven to have the cost and performance as they claimed, this achievement demonstrates that they can achieve great results with minimal resources, unlike American companies that rely on amassing computing power. But does this mean that computing power is not important? Will American companies start to reduce their investment in computing power and focus solely on optimizing algorithms like DeepSeek? In the short to medium term, the answer is definitely no. We have to understand that AI is still in its early stages, and we are far from achieving AGI, which is close to or surpasses human intelligence levels. Currently, models like R1, GPT-4, GPT-01, Gemini, and Grok still belong to weak AI, meaning they perform well in specific domains, but do not possess true general intelligence. Therefore, in the context of the ongoing AI race, especially with China's DeepSeek igniting the international AI war, which American tech company would dare to slow down their procurement of computing power at this critical juncture, and instead rely solely on algorithm optimization to win the AI race. Whether or not algorithms can be further optimized, amassing computing power is still the most direct way to see results. Achieving AGI itself requires much more computing power than what we have today, a significant amount more. Moreover, DeepSeek's success with minimal resources was forced. It's like someone who is not very strong but wants to lift a large stone onto a truck. They would be forced to learn how to use levers and techniques, which is a smart move. But if this person knows how to use minimal resources while also being very strong, wouldn't they be able to lift not just a large stone but possibly tons or tens of tons? Optimizing algorithms and amassing computing power are not mutually exclusive. If you gave DeepSeek 200,000 H100 chips now, would they refuse? Do they believe the chips they have now are enough to develop AGI? Since current AI technology is still far from AGI, the more computing power, the better. Having computing power does not mean that algorithm optimization is impossible. There is no conflict between the two, and there is no need to choose one over the other. At this stage, more computing power and better algorithms only result in better outcomes. Of course, if we were already at or close to the AGI stage, then we could say that companies no longer need as many AI chips and should focus on reducing hardware costs and developing software optimizations. Therefore, the release of DeepSeek R1 will only make American tech giants more nervous, prompting them to not only focus on optimizing algorithms, but also to amass computing power quickly. Only by upgrading both algorithms and computing power can they better win the AI race. After all, coming in second or third in the race could mean elimination. Furthermore, this breakthrough by China will likely reduce US regulations and restrictions on AI, helping accelerate the development of US AI and the short to medium-term sales of AI chips. Of course, what matters most is how the tech giants think. During Meta's latest earnings call this Wednesday, the company projected capital expenditures of $60 to $65 billion in 2025, primarily for the expansion of AI infrastructure. This guidance midpoint of $62.5 billion represents a significant 59% increase from the $39.2 billion in capital expenditures for 2024. On the call, CEO Zuckerberg stated that he still firmly believes that massive investments in the company's AI infrastructure will bring strategic advantages. Perhaps at some point in the future, we may reach a different conclusion, but I think it's too early to make that judgment now. I dare say that the ability to build such infrastructure will be a significant advantage in enhancing service quality and supporting the scale we aspire to. Evidently, after DeepSeek's release of R1, Meta still believes that hoarding computing power is necessary, both because the current computing power is far from enough to achieve AGI, and because having extra computing power is better than having insufficient power, especially in the AI race. On the other hand, Microsoft also provided expected capital expenditure guidance, showing that the DeepSeek event has not yet changed the strategy of tech giants hoarding chips. One undeniable point is that the ultimate long-term sales of AI chips may be less than previously expected. If DeepSeek's model and its claimed development costs are real, it proves that the total hardware cost to achieve AGI may not be as high as once thought. For example, previously we thought it would take $1 million to achieve AGI, but now we are told that it can be done for $10,000. This would mean that the total number of AI chips needed to be purchased is not as high as previously thought. Therefore, the decline in chip stocks on Monday can't be said to be completely irrational. It depends on the perspective and time frame of interpretation. There are both irrational panic emotions and some downward adjustments in long-term expectations. Overall, DeepSeek's R1 is actually beneficial for short to medium-term AI chip sales because it has intensified the AI war between the two countries, heating up the AI race and making the US focus more on the speed of AI research and development. For instance, many American tech executives and Trump praised DeepSeek in the media, as this could help reduce AI restrictions by the US government and further promote the development of US AI. However, the release of R1 may have capped the long-term ultimate sales of AI chips. Additionally, with algorithm optimization, in the future people might not need to buy only the top-performing Nvidia chips. They might use cheaper AMD chips, or even their own self-developed chips. In reality, industry leaders like Jensen Huang have mentioned many years ago that the cost of AI training would significantly decrease over time. The price of AI chips will become cheaper, energy efficiency will improve, performance will get stronger, and model costs will only get lower. It's just that DeepSeek has suddenly materialized this trend, and the time required is much shorter than the market's expectations. Thus, the decline on Monday was mixed with both panic and rationality. That said, DeepSeek's R1 has not surpassed GPT-03, and OpenAI may still have GPT-04 or GPT-5, which have yet to be released. R1 stands on the shoulders of giants, and also involves Chinese political issues that it might not be able to address. Being tied to politics could hinder the progress and usability of the DeepSeek model. Therefore, it's too early to judge who will ultimately win. But it is certain that computing power remains the most critical raw material for winning the AI race. Before reaching the AGI level, the more AI chips, the better. No company will consider its chips excessive, not for many years. Regarding adding positions, buying Nvidia at $115 to $125 is not a big issue. The current valuation is acceptable, and short-term performance should not be negatively affected by DeepSeek. If the support at $115 doesn't hold, the next support is at $100. However, Monday's decline does not seem to be the start of a bear market, because funds that exited the semiconductor sector immediately moved into defensive stocks, traditional stocks, and the Dow Jones Index, and even into non-chip tech giants like Apple and Meta. Even some software companies, such as CRM and ServiceNow, saw gains on Monday. As they are on the application side, the future reduction in AI training costs will be beneficial to them. Therefore, I don't think this is the start of a bear market, but rather a sector rotation. In a while, the market should move on and look forward, and the semiconductor sector still has room for growth in the mid to long term. I don't believe tech giants will reduce capital expenditures in the short term, and they may even increase their procurement of AI chips while optimizing algorithms to better win the AI race. The US government may also increase its investment in AI. Overall, as long as we are far from the AGI stage, hoarding computing power is essential. Although DeepSeek is using less money to achieve O1 level results, if they continue to rely solely on their limited computing power, how much can they further improve their model's performance? This is a question because computing power is the foundation that determines the upper limit. Just like an apple falling on an ordinary farmer's head won't create miracles, but when it falls on Newton's high-performance brain, it leads to the discovery of gravity. That's the importance of computing power. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you like this video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share. If you happen to click on that little bell, that's even better because you'll be notified of new videos right away. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.